Bernard. Why do they know him as Bernie for president? Bernard is running the president of what? The Band-Aid on Forehead Society? No. He's running for president of the United States, Bernard? Yeah, Bernard. Why don't you just vote for him? Oh, hello. No, we knew that. We go back with Bernard. Oh, we go back with Bernie Sanders to our days in Vermont. You know, we were known as a political action group. We were known as the Burlington Trio. And we were responsible for the bombing of the original Burlington coat factory. But now it's still, you know, I still deal with them because I'm very involved in the Occupy Walgreens movement. Oh, okay. Yes, I hate the 1%. I love whole milk. Oh, boy. Hey! I'm sick of these right-wingers, though. Let me say something that no one else is saying. Please do. I'm sick of these right-wingers. And the only one I would vote for is Dick Cruz. I like him. Because his face looks like the whole movie. Dick Tracy pushed together. You were out there. You were so funny at the White. Thank you, guys. That's very kind. You were being humorous. And what I love the joke where you attacked Vin Trump, right? And then I remember, you know, you made fun of him. And then you got to him, you know, and then he waited 6 years. Yeah? And I was running for president, and he was just a McDonald's burp away from destroying the world. That was you, dude. That was you, man. Thank you. Yeah, you're like the guy that didn't buy Hitler's paintings. So he was like, okay, I'll try plan B, Dad. I was so excited. I was watching the Emmys, and you won the Emmy for this wonderful special that I was lucky enough to see at Radio City. How was that night? It was. I was totally surprised. It was amazing and extremely flattering, but I was just shocked to win. And I, been before, and sometimes it's not fun. So I was sitting there like, why do we do this every year? Why do we come to this? And then they said my name, and I was like, oh, this is true love. I was very happy because it cut to you, and Dan Levy, who was a dear friend of yours, was your date for the night. Our world's funniest comedian, Dan Levy, was my date for the next. I'm lucky enough to know him as well.
It was really a genuine moment of friendship from Dan when you won. And there he is, next to you.
Oh, yes. There's also our friend Michelle Wolf, who's genuinely happy for you. Look at Dan and I. That is like the typical like Catholic and Jew hearing good news. I'm like, wow. And I'm like, okay, don't get too proud. I think if you get kicked in the face, you deserved it, because that means that you watch the foot come to your face. Gotta be an asshole to find somebody using their feet. The person I saw get kicked in the face, the reason why I laughed is because when he got kicked, he looked at us for confirmation. Like he needed approval on what just happened. He's like, yo, it's him. Yeah, better look at his other foot. Then he kicked you again. He's good. That guy's good. He knows what he's doing. Would you fight somebody using their feet, man? Like if we go to fight, I'm gonna tell you, put your hands up, let's fight. Now, if I go to fight you and you start stretching, I mean, you know, some shit, I don't know, I'm not gonna fight you. I had an incident where a guy he didn't use it on me, but he was gonna attempt to use his feet. That was with my mom, right? Me and my mom. We in the parking lot of Best Buy. I'm looking for a parking space. Now all the spaces was crooked, but there's one truck about to back into his parking spot. But he was taking too long, so I got mad. I stole it. I whipped him to the spot real fast, like, you know when you're wrong? Because you put your head down and roll your windows up, you don't want to look at him. You start humming. Out of nowhere, the guy got out the truck. Yeah, man, I know you saw me about to back into that spot. If you back out, are we going to have a problem? Chinese guy right now with my mom, so I ain't going to be no bitch. I was like, well, I guess we got a problem. This is how I know I didn't want this problem. This is exactly what he did to me. He's like, oh, so we got a problem? Do we? Al got mad at me because I live in LA. He said, Kevin, you out here in Hollywood doing God knows what, sex, drugs, money. Lord knows what you're into. You need to get a relationship with God. I said, dude, don't talk to me about God. I'm fine, okay? You the one who's on drugs. You get a relationship with God, he got mad. And anytime you get mad, you only got to bring up some dark shit from his past that nobody needs to know. I don't know where. He said, Kevin, let me tell you something. I know I was on drugs, but I found Jesus. Granted, I didn't know him when I was out there sucking dick for money, but I'll tell you something. I said, wait a minute, wait. First of all, you're not going to speed past that. Like, you didn't just say what you just said. I said, when was this? What year was this? He said it was in the 80s. Somebody was doing this shit that pissed me off. He said, your dad was back there with me. I said, what? I thought it was like, all right. Hey, you going to learn today? No, the fuck I'm not. You're going to keep that lesson to yourself? How come nothing good ever happens at work? It's always bad, babe. Let me tell you about this bitch Sabrina at the office today. Okay? First of all, she comes in the office with white stockings on and black shoes. Excuse me, bitch. Labor Day is over. Excuse me. Thank you. Delete that. Oh, then y'all start talking about problems going on in the office. We don't fucking know. Let me tell you what she did, babe. She come to me talking about can you go print this out, the fax machine? No, I am an executive administrative assistant, not your assistant. We gotta act like we know what's going on. What? She told you to print it out, the fax machine. No, she didn't. A bitch is crazy. Not my baby. Thank you. Then y'all turn into the computers. Thank you. I told the bitch. Boop. Backspace. No, LORTOFMAO. Thank you. Delete that. MTFO, MOFOHS. I don't know where my friend Joey goes. You better be lucky. Won't have a ping pong table. Please said I would bust all your ass. I said, bet money, bitch. That's me and my friend's biggest problem. We're competitive. The word bet sets off that competitive nature. I said bet money, bitch. Harry said bet. Wayne bet. Spank bet. Joey bet.
Bitch, bet, motherfucker, bet, nigga, bet, you, bet.
We get in the car, we drive to Walmart. We buy a ping pong table, we go back to Joey's house. We set the ping pong table up in the kitchen, we get to playing ping pong. Our game looks nothing like the game that we were watching on TV. So we decided to add alcohol into the mix, hit the ball into the net, gotta take a shot. You get slammed on. Gotta take 2 shots, you get slammed on, and you miss the ball completely. Gotta take 3 shots. Somewhere along the line, the game got so competitive that Joey decided to cut his jeans into jean shorts because he said he wasn't getting enough lateral movement in the house. Here's the fucked up part about that. It was Joey's house. All Joey had to do was go upstairs and change into a pair of goddamn jean shorts. I wake up in the middle of the night. My stomach is killing me. I call the front desk. A woman picked up the phone. She said, hello, front desk. May I help you? It's the first time that I heard English outside of my friends since I've been in Japan. You would have thought that I was Tom Hanks in Cast Her Away. I lost it. Chicken, please, chicken. She's like, sir, calm down, we're rumored. You win. I don't know. She said, look at the phone. Your room number's on the phone. Okay, I'm in room. Line dash, cross house. I don't know how to read. It looks like an abandoned building with no windows, made out of bamboo sticks. I don't know. So excited. I don't know, please? How did you get it? Did you get the joke? You got it? Because the way they write their numbers, you got it. I just felt like you should have gave a bigger laugh. I don't think your laugh is what it should have been, huh? True story, people. Exactly what I do. Get in the shower, get dressed, get in my car, start driving to the store. On the way to the store, I hit a speed bump. When I hit the speed bump, I hear a lot of noise in the trunk. Boom, 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 boom. That's weird. I ain't put shit in the trunk. What the fuck is all that noise in the goddamn trunk? I'm small. I get scared fast. So I get out the car. I pop the trunk. I see her in the goddamn trunk. See her in the goddamn trunk. I just caught you in the trunk of my car. You gotta say something to justify what the fuck I'm looking at. What the fuck are you doing in the goddamn trunk? With a straight face, she looks at me, jumps out the trunk, rolls her eyes, and takes off as if I never saw her. Now, let me tell you why I had an attitude. Because we live together. Like, I'm gonna see you tonight. We have to address this at some point in time. I said, no, fuck that. We're gonna talk about this right now. I get in the car, I drive home. Here's where it gets crazier. When I get home, she in the kitchen cooking, right? I walk in the house. She said, hey, babe, you hungry, bitch? What the? Oh, I want to talk about no goddamn food. I want to talk about why I popped the trunk and you popped out the goddamn trunk like a goddamn jack in a box. The fuck were you doing in the goddamn trunk with a straight face? She looked at me. She said, I wasn't in no goddamn Miley. What did that have to do with lesbians? Is that because they can get married now? Finally, they can adopt a kid, so technically one of them's a mom? Or are they both moms? I don't know how it fucking works. Oh God, am I in trouble now? I don't know. It's a new world. Oh, there we go. That's what I have, a live podcast. All the questions are answered. That would have bugged me for a whole week. What did that mean? All right, last thing here, overrated. Oh, that's overrated. Today's hot moms, it's the same thing. I appreciate all this. I appreciate all this self-care, but would it kill some of these women to do some mom things once in a while when it's not convenient for the camera? Maybe it's because I was born in 81, but I remember moms putting their family first. Glad you're getting into some yoga, but could you maybe teach your kids a little something about anything in your spare time, for Christ's sake? There we go. If that attention is going towards themselves, it ain't going towards their kids. Yeah, it's a weird fucking time. Oh, you know what? Actually, the last thing I'll say here is have you noticed, like, when you watch, like, YouTube videos of kids falling down? I don't know why I got on that thing, but I'm watching it. It used to be, like, accidental. You know what I mean? Like, oh, my kid was sitting there laughing and then fell off the chair, was okay or whatever. and it becomes like a funny thing, like a kid falling down. But now I've noticed, like, when you watch them, because they know they're going to get big hits, there's plenty of time for the parent to get over there. The kid's walking towards the hot stove. Oh, what are you doing? What are you doing? Don't touch it, touch it. What are you doing? All right, well, that was the live podcast. Thank you guys so much for coming out. Go yourselves. We'll see you on the other one. Thank you to Angela for setting up all of this stuff. And thank you to Dynasty Typewriter for the wonderful space. I'll be in back signing posters, taking pictures, kissing babies, whatever. Thank you. Good night, damn. Anyway, she goes, he yells, "You do not know how I feel." And she writes, "I sense his anger and try to change the subject and ask questions about him. I'm about 6 beers deep and just rambling. But at some point, I check out this guy more thoroughly and realize he only has one leg. Oh, no. That's why she left out that detail. Oh, my God. That was brilliantly written. Crutches are not just a 2-week inconvenience for him, and I absolutely do not know how he feels. I'm now picturing him back at his place and realizing how convenient it is when you have to blow somebody if they only have one leg. There's all this extra space. You don't have to, like, lean over. Come on in. You know, it's like suicide doors getting into a back seat. There you go. There it is right there. He just moves the stump. Anyways, I'm so embarrassed and disgusted with myself. I tried to apologize and buy him a beer, but he refused, got up and left. On a more positive note, the one pickup line that did work for me also was back in college, and shortly after the crutches incident, I came up to a guy in a staircase of a Jell-O wrestling party. A guy came up to me in the staircase of a Jell-O wrestling party and asked me, "Hey, aren't you in my physics class?" And I say, "I don't know." Turns out we were in physics class together, but I had not noticed him before. So we started sitting together in class, and I realized he's a nice, friendly guy, pretty smart, in pretty good shape, likes to party. I was waiting for him to go, and he has both his legs. He invited me out to a party the following weekend, which soon became one of my most embarrassing date experiences. Jesus fucking Christ. That guy show up with some of my lady friends, and at some point, one of my lady friends disappears with one of his guy friends. We eventually figured out that they were hooking up in the back seat of a car out in the driveway. I decided to be a funny girl and smush my face up to the window to give him a little scare, all right? I don't know how I feel about this person. I start to like them, then I'm like, what the fuck? And then I'm back into this nuts. Except I had a few too many beers, and I hit the glass a little too hard, and my front teeth smashed through the window. All right, I absolutely love this person now. I love this person. I chipped off my front tooth. We all had a good laugh, looking like Jim Carrey and Dumb and Dumber. We had a good laugh as he helped me look for my tooth in the dirt. I was pretty mortified. Turns out he's into boozy girls who will risk a pencil tucky yuck mouth. What? Pencil tucky yuck mouth. Is that half Pennsylvania, half Kentucky? Is that a meth reference of a smile? Just for a laugh. I have since gotten my tooth, and we've been laying off the booze. Great! My Jell-O wrestling physics partner is now my husband, and we are coming to see you June 24th in Newark, New Jersey. Can't wait. All right, well, you know what? I think that's a real positive way to end this podcast. I had a fucking great time. I hope you guys did too. Yes. One more time for the truth and Andrew Thiles and Andrew Thalis and Mike Bernolina. And that's it. Thank you so much. Good night. Good afternoon, Sam. I saw this story down in Orange County, right down in Orange County, California. This guy gave helicopter tours for 30 years without incident. Hands the business off to his son. The American dream. I built it up for 30 years. See you both, son. Make the family and the family name proud. All right, Dana. I love you, right? 4 kids, 5 days in. He's supposed to give a tour to a couple. Only the dude shows up. The kid thought it was weird, but he's like, I need the money. I got to give him a tour, right? So he takes this guy up. 10 minutes into the tour, the dude jumped out. 5 days in. 5 days in from the balloons and the cake. We love you, son. Keep the family tree going. The traditional life, 5 days later, this kid, he probably barely had the speech down, just sitting there flying the helicopter. All right, if you look out the left side of the aircraft, that's Orange County. There's over 27 miles of beaches. Put your seatbelt back on. 27 miles of beaches was established as a county in 1903. Sir, please don't open the door, sir. What are you doing? Sir, no, don't stop. No. What the fuck? What the fuck? Oh, my God. Oh, my God. What the fuck? Air traffic control, I don't know who's on this frequency, but you really need some kind of helicopter 5 days in. So I read further into the story. Turns out the guy who jumped out, he was 61 years old, terminally ill. He was in pain every day. They couldn't figure out what was wrong with him, and he had enough at that point. That guy immediately became a hero. And in my world, right? You know what I love about him? Not only did he make the decision, he didn't go out like some pussy, right? Handful of pills, watching a romantic comedy, wrapped in an Afghan, the Nana made. Fuck, that guy went out like a man. Take me up in a chopper, I'm looking at the land I love, and then I'm jumping out like a superhero. I loved it. This guy should have been wearing a fucking cape. Can't imagine how elated he must have been on that helicopter ride up after finally, just taking back control of his life. Like you, disease, I decide, ripping tubes out, gets a burger, shotguns, a beer, take me up in the chop. He probably had his foot on the dashboard. He's not even listening to this guy giving the tour, right? Over 27 miles of beaches. Put your seatbelt back on. Establishes a county in 1903. Sir, please don't try to open the door. Incredible. But here's the thing. I left out one small thing. There is one small thing. The guy fucking lived. Yeah. They were out over the ocean, 500 a fit up. You'd think that would be enough. So I'm thinking he must have gone in like Greg Louganis, like no splash, but witnesses said it looked like a dummy was falling out of the air. So that sounds like a hell of an impact. I think he accidentally did the most epic 500-foot belly flop in the history of jumping out of a helicopter, but that didn't change what he was trying to do, where his heart was. I still love this guy. I just feel bad for him. Just on the way down, he's got to be thinking 3 more seconds of pain, 2 more seconds. Wow. Oh, my God. This is worse. This is way worse. It has a happy ending, though. He later died at the hospital. That's right. So here's to him. God bless him. I hope I have the balls someday. All right. Thank you. Thank you very much. How are you? Please be seated. Good evening. Thank you. Welcome. Welcome to this lovely theater here in downtown Montreal. It's unbelievable. I can understand your female voice does not travel well. I don't know what it is up close or in a whisper can make your dick hard. But beyond 10 feet, it just sounds like a couple of birds fly. Fighting over a French fry or something. There you go. That's how we start. Somebody's coming out of the gate. I'm sick of Obama's wife. Yeah, this isn't some Democrat, Republican shit. This is just in general, just running her a yap. That's just like, shut up. You weren't elected. Your husband isn't running a lemonade stand. He's running the country. No, generally speaking, first ladies, they've been out of line for a good 25, 30 years. They think for some reason that their husband has the job, that now they should be chiming in like they know some shit. Dude, if you had a leak at your house and you called the plumber, and the plumber comes in and he starts fixing it, what would you do if 5 seconds later his wife, who isn't a plumber, comes walking in? Well, I think we should route it over here. It's like, shut up. Just because you're fucking the plumber doesn't mean you understand plumbing, okay? This is all like my fears. Because they're trying to tell us down south here, they're starting to gear up for Hillary Clinton to be running for president. Saying I think that would be a good thing. Yeah, people clapping. Oh, what is that based on? Based on what? I don't get how she became a senator. That's shocking to you. She went from never holding political office to immediately being a senator. Why? Because she was fucking the president. Should Tom Brady's wife be the next quarterback of the Rams? Does he have some sort of magical powers? Like you suck at sports? I couldn't throw it all. And then he fucked me. And I just picked up this ball. I was just lacing it in there. Yeah, it was incredible, dude. It all started with Nancy Reagan. That's where it first went off the rails. She came out with her little bird body, just her big head. Just came walking out. Say no to drugs. People off your heroin. Say no to that. She just walked back. Hillary had her stupid health care plan. Obama's wife's running her yap on 60 Minutes. I got to give it up to the Bushes. They had their women in line. They did. Barbara never said shit. She smiled every once in a while. She threw something in there. George W.'s wife. I don't even know her name. This dude was in office for 8 years. I don't even know her fucking name. What's it like? Beth or Page or something like that. You had her on lockdown. Going out there tonight, I'm giving a speech. And when I say something and they laugh, you're going to nod, you're going to smile, and you're going to nod that head. Is this how it's going to be? Really? Do you think me saying this is somehow going to affect? She's still going to win. Listen, let me ask you this question. Do you think that a woman being president is going to affect anything? What are they going to do? What's she going to? What the fuck is she going to do? Do you know what the president makes? The president makes $400 grand a year. Supposed to keep bankers in line that get $100 million bonuses. I'll tell you, if you really want, nothing's going to change, okay? Black, white, dick, or clan, it doesn't make a bit of difference. Nothing is going to change until somebody's got the balls to start a crook. Go over the wall of one of these gated communities and you start slitting some throats. Not just random throats, the right throats. You got to climb up a tree. Be up there with your scope, knowing that in 11 fucking minutes your life is going to end, right? And take out many of those people as you can. Yeah. Other than that, it's just going to be a pair of tits saying the same shit to you. I'm staying in a hotel, everybody. I like staying in hotels. They make me feel comfortable. I feel safe in a hotel. You got the lobby. There's always somebody down there in case an axe murderer comes in. That's the first person that's going to get killed. You can hear they're screaming when you're up in your room. Gives you a chance to plan. Barricade the door, you know, turn on the shower, hide in between the mattresses, right? Little misdirection back in the day. I used to stay in motels. I hated staying in motels. Could never feel safe. You were lying in a bed 2 feet from a door that just opened up out into a parking lot. Anybody in the world could just come walking up, kick the door open. Motherfucker. Just drag you out of the bed. And you're just lying in that bed. So not ready to have a fight to the death. Sitting there half naked, like nodded. Meanwhile, there's some guy on the other side of the door with a chainsaw. Like you're lying there like it's kind of early to be trimming the hedges, but when that dude comes through that door, you lie to yourself as a man that if something like that happened, dude, I just jump up, grab a lamp, let's fucking do it. You know what the reality is? Most people, the best you could do is maybe make a weird noise. Just be like, and that would be it, that dude just come in. The last thing you see is just ceiling carpet, 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 ceiling carpet. Anytime you go into a theater, they always give you the history. It was built 1948. It was a tribute to Rocket Richard. Everybody chipped in, blah, 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 blah. And we have a ghost. His name is Michael. I immediately lose all respect for anybody over the age of 8 that still believes in ghosts. It's like, really? You still believe in specters and goblins? What is the end game of being a ghost? I don't get it. You can go anywhere you want to go in the world. You're just going to stay in a basement for the rest of your life, just waiting for once every 6 months somebody comes down to check the boiler, and you get to be like, why would you go somewhere, dude? I'd fly right to Washington, D.C., fly right into the CIA building, just start sitting in on meetings like these guys are out of their fucking minds. Fly to the Super Bowl, go right into the huddle. I always wanted what they talked about. Not going to spend the rest of my life in an attic trying to scare some accountant into solving my murder. Basically, well, I was so fucking hot I could feel my heartbeat in my ears. So at some point it just got so hot, and she wasn't leaving, and she was like a pro. So I finally just got up, and I just sort of had my towel cover myself and go, I'm sorry. I think I left my key over. And she goes, oh, I did not see it, blah, blah. And I go, all right. So then I went back, and I sat down. That's what I did. That's right, I sat down, and then she got up, and I was like, still. I go like, it's got to be underneath her or something. So I waited for her to leave, I toughed it out, and then I walk over there, and I'm feeling around on the fucking seats and shit, and it's just not there, and they have the slats, and I'm like, it probably fell down in between it. Now I'm going to have to walk out with just my towel and robe on, go back to the front desk, pay the fee, and all of this shit. So now I walk out of the sauna, I'm fucking almost passing out, and to my left, in my peripheral, I see that woman again, naked at the top of the ladder to go into the ice bath. Oh my Jesus Christ, I gotta get out of here, right? And as I'm walking away, you know, I hear her yelling over to somebody, and I'm like, I know she's not talking to me. And then she just goes, then she switches to English. And she goes, did you find your key? And I kind of half turned, but didn't look at her. And I go, no, I didn't. And then she goes, is this it? And I realized that's where I left it. When I scampered up the ladder to go there, I left it at the top. I go, oh yeah, it is. And then she stays at the top of the ladder and just, you know, kind of hands it. And I walk over, and literally her vagina is above me. And I kind of reach up, like looking but not looking. I just go, Duncan, shame. And it was so fucked up. I didn't even take a shower. I just walked out, and I went to the locker room, and I went in there, and I was like pouring sweat, and everyone was looking at me. Like when fighting, he showered off. He's all red like the tomato. Anyways, and then I put my shit back on, and there you go. That's my German sauna story. But I do have to tell you this, though. If you're completely naked in a sauna, it's even better. It is even better. It's fucking weird. But you only can do it in a place if everybody's naked, then it isn't weird. It isn't weird. And if you're worried that you're going to get a stiffy because there's a naked woman in there, there's also other naked men in there, so it neutralizes it. Not to mention it's hot as shit. Like, I don't think anybody has ever fucked in one of those hot naked, you know, the not naked, the hot yoga class. What do they call that? The Bikram yoga. Like, you can barely survive somebody is the last thing on your mind when you're sitting in like 80-degree heat. But anyways, that was my sauna story. It was hilarious. I was worried that my junk was going to look too small when I got out of the ice bath. And I was worried that I was going to salute the Germans when I was in the sauna. If I, you know, if a naked woman walked in, but it didn't. I just felt like a fucking creep or two. Anyways, and that's why you travel the world, everybody, to get stories like that. I said, come on down. I said, come on down. I have a drum kit, and I'm with some musicians. Before I do my show with the First Form, we get to screw around in this amazing space. So I came down, and you said, bring your guitar, and we had a blast. You're a great drummer. It was really fun. Oh, yeah, thank you. That was great. That was really fun, comedian. But yeah, we had Dean Del Rey, Michael Devin. I'm trying to remember the people. We had a mix of comedians, yeah. Failed musician comedians, and then like real deal guys like Michael plays with, everybody played, and like Whitesnake and all that stuff before all this crap happened. You could play everything. Yeah, it was great. Yeah. So there's a clip. I wish I could, if I could find it on one of my phones. Van Halen ain't talking about love, and there was some guy had like the Van Halen like tribute guitar, and he was crushing the solo. You came down, would you play Van Morrison? It was such a great time. I think I played Van Morrison, yeah. We ended up playing for like it felt like 3 hours. And I had such a good time. And then when I stood up, I had no energy left, and I was like, oh my God, did I just blow it? So you gotta do the show. I had to do the show. But fortunately, the fear of screwing that up becomes like adrenaline. Yes. And I was able to go out there and, hey, I forget what that sounds like, even having like a crowd, so, right? We'll get back to it. Yeah, hopefully we'll get back to it. Yeah, all right, let me make sure I get this. All right? You can see Bill in theaters across the country this summer and fall on Bill Burr, the tour. For full tour dates, visit BillBurr.com, and The Mandalorian, of course. Available on Disney+, massive conglomerate. No one here is getting that money. Bill Burr, that was great, thank you. You're about to do my, what is my dream tour? You're going to Europe to do stand-up in Europe, and you're also going in the winter. Are you one of those Americans that just automatically thinks they're smarter over there? Because you got to go because everybody American knows, oh my God, the food and the people are so enlightened. You go over there, some idiot eating fish and chips, screaming about soccer or whatever. It's like, I know that guy, I know. I've seen that guy, you know? Yeah. Like, everybody's over there in like lab coats figuring stuff out. They're not. Everything's so much older and so much culture. They still get on social media and trash each other. Are you going to any places? You've obviously toured a lot over there before. Are you going places you've never been? Yeah, this is like a thrash. I'm going through like Eastern Europe, like Estonia. I'm doing Prague, Bosnia. Poland is a big one I wanted to go to, and yeah, so you go in with an expectation. Do you think to yourself, oh, a Bosnian audience will like this part of my act? Or you just go in and do exactly what you do. Like, I'm right here. Because if you go over there, the first time I did London, like, I was just in my head the whole time. I'd have, like, a joke coming up about, like, and it involved a squirrel. And then in my head, I'd be like, do they have squirrels over here? Did I see a squirrel? Is this going to bomb? And I would be, like, freaking out. And then I swear to God, you pull back, and then they pull back. And then it just becomes, like, this staring contest. So I just act like I'm here. I use references. I use slang. And I just go until it bombs, and then I make fun of it that they didn't get it. And then I just go again. But I've gotten some of the funniest. I was in Stockholm, Sweden one time, and I was on stage, and there was some guy, saying, all right, what do I do after this? Where should I go? Blah, 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 blah. And I just hear this guy in the crowd yells out. He goes, come to my house. They'll have a party. I was just like, yeah, I think I'm going to skip that one. I don't think I'm going to meet you anywhere, buddy. But they had a great sense of humor, and I remember when I did Stockholm, Sweden, I came out and I said, hey, it's great to be here in Switzerland. And they all laughed thinking I was joking, and I just played it off. I was like, oh, I missed that. So anyways, do you feel a bigger rush? Is there something, when you think about all the small rooms you played here and, where you're from, and when you go over to a whole nother country, do you have a rush of like, I can't believe I'm killing in a foreign country in a big crowd? Yeah, definitely. But I always have that thing in you have a job to do. These people paid for a sitter. They're coming out and that thing, and I'm always trying to get like better. But there's definitely, I've been starting to add some shows over there. It's just like, it's YouTube, it's Netflix. Like, your stuff can just go international. I definitely feel blessed that I can go to these places, make a little bit of money, and yeah, meet all these kids. Can you enjoy yourself the day of? Like, if obviously you're going city to city, so you don't have a lot of time. If you have a show at night in Prague, can you go out and enjoy a day in Prague? Or are you in your head about the fact you got a show? Probably not, because this is my first time there. The first time there is always just, you go there like, an animal sleeping on a futon and all that. Then you build a following. And I can bring my wife, you know, she shows up once all the land's been cleared, all the hard work's done, I want to go. This seems like fun, I didn't bring her. She'd probably buy some stupid antique over there. And I got to figure out how to bring it halfway across the world, but I like it. Yeah, you break even on the whole Trish because he got an old piano. The word that's going to kill me earlier is going to be why. That's what my wife always does. Do you like this? No, I don't like it. It's a piece of, don't get it. And then she's always just like, why? But I like it. And then it's just like, all right, buy it. No, but I want you to like it too. And it's just like, there's just no winning. But you have a, you're a licensed helicopter pilot? Yes, I am. This is true. How long has this been the case? I get it, 2014 or 2015, I can't remember. What made you want to become a licensed helicopter pilot? Conspiracy theory. And living in Los Angeles, what is the conspiracy theory that led you to it? Well, I'm not into like, you know, people think of you into conspiracy theory. They just automatically think that you think, you know, you think there's lizard people and shapeshifters and, you know, you'd have this aluminum hat on. No, I just sort of read up on the banking system and I'm like, this is kind of a giant Ponzi scheme. And you know, I was living in LA and I was just looking at it. It's like you can't get out of the city even when it works. Like what if ever hit the fan there? How do I get out of here? And it just seemed like up and out was the only way to do it. So, yeah, no, so then think, yeah, but then I always watched Magnum PI and always liked TC. And he flew that Huey 500, which I thought was cool. And so then, and I'm also sort of a closet gearhead where I don't know a lot of stuff, but I watch videos of people repairing engines and I just really got into it. Next thing you know, I'm flying around in those things. I guess my question would be though, based on your escape plan, do you have your own helicopter? No, there's a lot of holes in it. Also, this is not enough for your family. I know, but I can only afford to. I just rent those things, man. It's just like, yeah, that's the thing. There's another thing too. Whenever you watch like a zombie movie and some guy comes running up to like a plane, I got helicopter, I should say, and just starts it up like he's getting in like a Corvette and just drives away. That's not how it works. You got to warm the whole thing up. You'd have to kill half the zombies by the time you went through your pre-flight just to get up and out of there. So I didn't know that. So I went ahead and I did it. And I will tell you, it's one of the big accomplishments in my life because I was terrible in school. But that was something that I wasn't worried about learning how to fly it. It was the ground school and all the rules you had to know. But I was so interested and it was so fascinating. I was actually able to do it. So, well, fantastic. Congratulations on that. Thank you. Congrats on the show. Have a great trip to Europe, man. Oh, thank you very much. It's always a pleasure to see you. Great. We finally did this. Bill Burr, everybody. Bill, you even said that you're a lifelong Red Sox fan, that you were disappointed that you're a little disappointed that the Red Sox, but you're not unhappy that they're losing now. No, I'm sorry. I mean, who says that? Burn off all the bandwagon, okay? All those people with the pink Red Sox hats singing that stupid song in the 7th inning. Sweet Caroline, yeah, bum, bum, bum. Your girl's got her head on your shoulder like you're at a romantic comedy. It's what they got. They got like a mascot now. They got a mascot. I didn't know they had a mascot. They tried a mascot in the late 70s, and the guy got pelted with so many like cigarette lighters that he quit after like 3 games. And that's what I mean. Now I come back to Boston, everybody's like, they like holding, swaying, singing this song. It's not. The Patriots have like a lighthouse at their stadium now. It's just not the city I left. So you're bitter that they had that success? Were you happy that they won No, I like that they won. I'd like them to continue winning, but I don't think we have to sing campfire songs in like the 7th inning, okay? I don't like mascots. I don't like those songs. And Steve Jobs, I think, was a little overrated. Nice take me. Thanks, you love it, you love it, you love going against the grain. It's fantastic. I like annoying people. Okay, on that subject then, did you watch the conventions, Republican convention, Democratic convention? No. I think if you watch those, you're an idiot. I don't understand why you would sit there wasting your time. They all say the same thing. They're all like, over the last 4 years, everything good that happened was because of us, and we would have done more good stuff if it wasn't for those guys. And then the Democrats go, oh, we did all the good stuff. Like you're all working for the same guy. They've been on both horses, and then it just kind of goes, it's not for you, right? You vote for that guy that says, like, there's a meteor headed right towards the planet. Or it's the guy you vote for, you go with the psycho. Because there's no way there's any corporate money behind that guy, right? That guy is going to come on TV. It's going to come on TV, like, reading files from the Pentagon. Like, you know what else they're doing? Like, just freaking people out. Man, as unsettling as that is, at least you can believe in it. You can trust it. You know that. No corporations behind them. They're not getting any money on the side. Because I think both the Democrats, Republicans, they just say the same thing. They just say those applause break. I think it's time to get this country back to work, and some guy with like a Tennessee sign jumping up and down like he's part of it, right? You know, we're all gonna get replaced by like robots. That's what I think. Like eventually, you think we're all gonna be replaced by robots? Yeah. Well, what's the kid your research? I think that's the event. You know what is Conan? I don't have any kids. And if you go too long, you get a little crazy. You know, you become like that black dude and not Predator. Remember that guy? Like I see it over there in them trees. Become like that guy. So you become him because he didn't have children shaving your head. Yeah. So you got to have something. I got to have a kid. That's what I got to do. I should just have a kid and play catch with him. You know, why don't tell him that? You know, Santa's coming and all that, right? No, I think it's too late. Whatever I am saying, what I'm feeling, you can at least give me that, right? That's good. You are saying what you're feeling. I want to make sure I mention this. Bill's new special, You People Are All the Same, will be available online October 1st at BillBurr.com. That's right. And I'm hoping people are going to actually download it and pay for it. I am hoping it's a big risk now. That could become like a $140,000 business card. You know, that's gonna basically be like, and if you're gonna steal it, can you just be honest and just say I stole it? Can you just do that? Don't be like, we're not stealing it. We're sharing it, man. No, you're stealing it. All right. I hate to tell you this. Lars was right. He was right. It's stealing. Okay, I did too. You know Lars from Metallica? Yeah. Okay. The other Lars, I don't know. There might be another Lars. I'm just trying a monster movie. Lars turned the switch like a boss. I keep forgetting the show I started to watch. I watched the first 3 episodes and I absolutely loved it. Then I tweeted about it was a cartoon from Japan. I guess they're called anime, which I did know that, but I didn't realize it was such a divisive thing to say that you liked the show that was anime. I feel like, is anime like the emo of cartoons? Like I tweeted that I liked this show called One Punch Man. All right? And the responses that I got, dude, are you drunk? Oh my God, you're into anime. And then other people just like, this is like the greatest day ever. I just like the show. I've watched enough of the same type of shit. And I was scrolling through and I was like, what the fuck is this show? And I looked and it had 5 stars, 4.5, 5 stars. Which is why I really hope Netflix doesn't go to thumbs up, thumbs down, like I said, because it's so fucking, you know, stubbing your toe, thumbs down, Adolf Hitler, thumbs down. I mean, the thumbs down is this. There's a big gap between Hitler and, you know, stubbing your fucking toe. Anyway, so I put this thing on, and what I loved about the show, aside from the fact that I really thought it was funny, that you actually kind of got like a sense of what young people feel like in Japan, as far as their view of going into the corporate world was very similar to the empty feeling. Unless you're a fucking sociopath over here. I find like a very like common thread to that and to basically give you the overall thing, the superhero in it. He's not a soup. He doesn't want to be a superhero. When I'm out fighting monsters, I never feel as if my heart's really in it anymore. I mean, I just do the hero thing as a hobby, all right? And he fucking trained really hard because he wanted to be the strongest guy in the world. And in his training, he lost all his hair, which is hilarious. And he's really self-conscious about it. But he ended up developing like this punch. And no matter what monster he runs into, he doesn't give a shit whether they kill him. He's just completely devoid of any like passion or emotion. Like what happens to you when you get shoved into a fucking cubicle? And he's got this one punch, and he just can punch so hard that no matter how badass the monster is, he gives him one. Somebody said they should have called the show The Fair at their Fred. And he gives him the bam in the face, as Eddie Murphy says, in the face, yes, in the face, yes, in the face, yes, in the face. And their head explodes, and the monsters that he fights. You also get more of an insight into where people's heads are at in Japan. And it was like, you know, one of the monsters he fought with some giant virus sent here by the Earth to get rid of it. All the humans because of what we've done to the planet. So there was an environmental thing then. My favorite one was this guy who was Crab Man. He was half like up top. He was all a crab, and then the bottom, he was half a guy, and he was in, with the bottom half, he's in his bare feet and tighty whities. Bet you're a new businessman already, hating the daily grind. I ate too much crab and turned into this crab lante. You should be crapping in your pants right now. Why aren't you running? And the guy's like, oh, I ate so much crab meat that I became a fucking crab. And see, and to me, he represented the upper 1% corporate guys, you know, on some power lunch, just eating all the sushi and just take. Nothing spiritual about him. So he gave him the old right there, Fred, and then he fought this fucking lady. And she had command of all the mosquitoes. and she'd sick the mosquitoes on everybody, suck all the blood out of you and all your energy, and then it would make her stronger. And to me, it's like, oh, this is a gold-digging, blood-sucking whore, right? Come on. That wasn't nearly enough blood to satisfy my needs. Now go get some more for me. And then once she got it to do it to all the animals and everybody there, she didn't need the mosquitoes anymore. She told all the mosquitoes to go fuck themselves, and I'm like, slash. This is also somebody who becomes successful and forgets where they come from, and they look at everybody where they used to be as like a bunch of fucking peons, a bunch of little insignificant little mosquitoes. I no longer need my tiny little helpers. I mean, just look at how strong I've become, right? It's a lot of levels to it. Or you can just get fucking high and watch this bald-headed dude fucking punch half a crab in the head and watch it explode. I enjoyed it. Keep it up for me. The money comes in, the parade comes to town. Going down Broadway is a one-way street, whichever way I go. First heard about white privilege, I had no idea what it was. I was like, everybody doesn't get to do this. It seems as if there's so job interviews. Right as I get out of the car, you're hired, go home. We'll see you tomorrow. This dude is knocking it out of the park. He's one of my favorites. Here is Bill Burr. Look at you. How are you? Oh, I love that, Doc. You did the audience a plaid applause for everybody. Yeah, there he is. Come on, keep it going. For him, it was really, you know, you relate to adults differently, people that you knew forever. And I always hated when somebody who didn't have a kid goes, you don't get it, man. You don't get it, do you? And I was like, fuck you, I get it. It's like having a dog, but it's more intense. I love the racist white guy thing, the thing that a bunch of racist white guys, they came out of the forest and they were just going Trump, Trump, Trump. It's like, where were all these racist white guys the last 2 elections when they could have voted against the black guy? They were fine. Oh, I don't mind the black guy, but this white lady, we got to stop her. Going to take a four-wheeler. Good to have you on again. Thanks for being here. It's nice to be here. And you know what? I actually have the same dream about somebody coming into my house. This happens a lot, actually, where I'll be just falling asleep and I'll think I'll run through an entire scenario of a home invasion. And I don't have any kind of weapon in my house. So you want to go with the .22 caliber, right? Perfect gun to shoot in the house. The low caliber gun. You can't really kill anybody from a distance, you know. So if they take a hostage, you can just start shooting at them. Perfect. Just let it go. Just good to know. Yeah. Now, when I'm on the road, I talk about getting a .22 Piranha. Everybody makes fun of me, you know, because, you know, it's that guy thing like, oh, what are you going to shoot a squirrel with your little, you know, little gun? But if you're in a house, that's what you want, little .22. You know, I'm basically teaching you guys how to kill somebody, I think. So it's a .22. You think it's superior to the part of a vacuum cleaner? Yeah. You don't want to have like a .44 Magnum. It's like you're going to shoot through the guy, through the wall, blow your dog's brains out, like drop the engine out of your car way too much, like a little .22. You can still hear if you miss, right? No, I shot a .38 one time with no hearing, with no hearing protection. Yeah. I was doing landscaping for this guy, and all of a sudden he's like, oh yeah, that follows sound. That needed killing, yeah. And he was like, I got this 5-shot .38. I never shot, was the 80s. So you're like, yeah, why not? You can't explain anything by just, oh, it was the 80s. Why did you do that? It was the 80s. We went down the street that somebody burned a car for insurance, so we were shooting at that, and after the first shot, I couldn't hear anything. And I never forgot that. So if you're in the house and you miss that, you can't hear it. You're blinded by the muzzle flash. This guy's coming around your bed with a sickle, and you're shooting the wrong way. Sickle, sickle, sickle. He's got a sickle, sickle. Is he harvesting wheat? What's he doing? What's he doing in your house? He's a sickle. I honestly, as you get older, you think about safety, and I totally relate to that. Yeah. When you're home alone, it's just that feeling. Yeah. It's just you're the only person there. You're what's for dinner. If somebody comes in, it's on you. That's why I never was comfortable in a motel. What? Because you're just laying in this bed like 2 feet from a door that just opens up into the parking lot. Any guy can come in, and you're just not ready to have a fight to the death. You're just laying there. So you turn on the chest, this guy comes in. So to be honest, I'm never ready to have a fight to the death. It's like in a motel. You think in a motel, it's like, you're particularly vulnerable in a motel. You should, you know, just drive by a motel and just look at it. You're just looking at those doors, like there's just people in there just laying on beds like half naked, you know, just laying there. And the door is like that thick, it's barely. You could put your foot right through it, he's going to be like that, that's it. Last thing you're going to see is just, you're going to be looking back at your own body like you're crazy? No, I do think about that. The kids, AC, DC, I raise them right, great, I raise them right. And you know what's my favorite thing ever is my son. Not only does he love AC/DC, he dresses up like him. I got him a guitar, and he like watches the videos. He could do like his, his Chuck Berry thing. And one of my favorite moments, I was laying in bed with my wife, and my son woke up early when he was 3, and he started singing Sin City. First song, second side, Power Range, 3 years old. Used down this little voice, dun, 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 dun. And I look at my wife, doesn't know the song. I'm like, he's singing Sin City. I love this kid. You also have a fantastic Hulu special came out recently, Drop Dead Years. Can you explain the title to us? Oh, it was just done it, being 56, these are like the years where it's a weird age. Is a man, you're too young to die of natural causes, but you're right in the sweet spot of dropping dead, right? So dropping dead is like this uniquely male phenomenon. Like guys drop dead all the time. Women, go to your Pilates class and see women clutching their chests or whatever for some reason. It's weird because there's just as many out of shape women, but they don't seem to have heart attacks. I don't know what it is. They cry out their emotions. Yeah, but we have a steak and some French fries for a couple of decades. The next thing you know, we're falling out of a golf cart and that's it. There's no defibrillator to bring you back. They should have a defibrillator at the turn of every golf course. Instead, they just give you more stuff to have a heart attack, which is what's amazing about golf. So many people take up golf because the doctor says you have to start walking. You're a ticking time bomb. And then what do? They get a golf cart and they're smoking cigars and we're idiots. Corned beef sandwich. This is not enough. Trying to get out of the way of your man boobs while you're swinging there? Something I wanted to ask you about. So fellow Red Sox fans, New York Yankees broke out these new torpedo bats. Oh, aren't those cool? No. God, what do you think? What is your take? Fair play, I love it. They should do stuff like that. They should turn it into golf. If you just how if you suck at golf, you don't have to get better at it? If you're like a podiatrist and you're slicing, they just design a golf club to make it go straight. The Yankees should go up with those big red plastic bats that you teach a 3-year-old with the name. I don't know. It just seems as a Patriots fan, they're weighing out footballs and these guys are going, hey, that part of the bat you're not supposed to hit it with? Let's make it the sweet spot also. So I don't know. Listen, they're just a $75 million team that could, they're trying. I will say, it's funny to watch them not even remotely spend as much money as the Dodgers, and watching them completely outspend them is really a funny thing. Just, as a fly in the wall, watching these two cities battling each other, New York, everything's big, we spend the most money, and then LA's like, no, you don't. We're spending more than you are. I love your intense accent work that you've developed about, I know. California, New York, while wearing a pink sweater, what's his face? I always do something to give the trolls something to talk about. So there's going to be a bunch of he's wearing pink now on this liberal show. What is this? Some woke-o. What's funny is white liberals are the ones that gave the definition of woke to whites on the right, so they don't. No white people really understand, it seems, what that word really meant when they took it from black people. So people on the right just think it means an insufferable, self-involved, liberal douche. And they're not wrong if they're talking about a white person, right? Running around crying about their pronouns is like the sun is lighting the planet on fire. Faith, look how scared you are about pronouns. It's unbelievable. They like when you talk about pronouns. Well, the rest of the world doesn't want to take our food because they see what we look like. They don't want our beautiful chicken. They don't want our beautiful beef. Yeah. Why is that? Why would you? It is just always the best way. Go to Europe, and if you can, and eat a tomato and see what it really is supposed to taste like. This is a tomato. Jesus Christ! Like somebody fucking stabbed you in the roof of your mouth. It would affect how you talked in school. For the first 3 periods. I would bleed one day when I bit him out in the fucking sun in July on a fucking roof. And I remember the first job I had looking over the fence. These fucking good-looking people, Instagram-looking people before Instagram, and they were just lounging at a pool just looking up at us. And I was just thinking, what the fuck am I doing with my life? Living, you was living. No, that was working. I hated that job so much. I just left. I didn't even go back and pick up a paycheck. I just wasn't meant to do it. There was this fucking guy who worked there. He had these jeans on, right? And I had a giant hole here, and he would never wear underwear. Oh, come on, it was so weird. I remember one time I was sitting there picking up these fucking tiles, and this dude stepped over some shit, and the hole moved oh, wow. Flash is fucking junk. Those are my 2 memories from that. That dude's junk, and those people sitting by the pool. Maybe that's why I didn't go back. That's a great reason not to. No, I wasn't good at confrontation. Then I thought he was going to get mad that I didn't want to do a job where I was going to get sunburned and look at some guy's dick. If you could have a superpower, what would it be? Oh, that's a good one. You know what it would be? When I'm second in line to make a left and the person doesn't pull up to get out in the intersection and make sure I make it, my superpower would be that I could mentally move him out into the intersection, and if they gave me the finger, I would slowly slide them into oncoming traffic. I wouldn't make them hit because that's an innocent person over there. It's not like a superpower. You're a villain, man. I would scan him. I would scan him. You're the first villain I had on my show. Everybody else, superpowers like Marvel characters. Your shit is like a villain. They're lying to you. Everybody's pretending that they care. They don't. If you really listen to people, what they care about is what affects them. True. Nobody gives a shit about the 8-year-old who made this jacket. Do I write him and say, thank you for sewing this together? No. Now they're trying to get Grecian formula to make some shit for redheads. I always wake up and do shit. If I could work with anybody, dead or alive, you know what? Dead or alive, I would do a set in front of Richard Pryor, and all I would want him to say was, hey, funny stuff, that's it. I wouldn't want to bother the guy. I would just want him to acknowledge that he watched, and on some level, he thought it was humorous. This one time on tour, okay, Lisa, that's a tough one. This one time on tour, I was with Charlie Murphy. We'll go back to that. And this kid at the Tempe Improv was also into martial arts and thought that his style was superior to Charlie's. And Charlie said that it wasn't. And they had a little kung fu match in the fucking, right? You know, where they had the black and white tiles. And I remember Charlie was twisting up so bad he wasn't even looking at the guy. He was just looking over at me, smiling the whole time he was doing it. And I just remember somehow he had turned the kid around where he was behind him, and his arms were all up in his face, and Charlie was just laughing, and Charlie had this laugh. So the kid was humiliated. I remember I wanted to laugh, but I was just like, well, I don't know karate either. So even though that kid's losing, Charlie leaves, he'll kick my ass. So yeah, if I wasn't a boss, I'd be afraid. If I wasn't a boss, oh my God, I would be a failure. Because I wouldn't have gone after what I wanted, and I would be working for somebody else, and I'd be a drunk. I'd be big, round, and orange, wouldn't be sitting here. My favorite position is doggy style. You're so nasty. Oh, I just can't deal with the intimacy, you know? I don't know who I am as a person yet. And when somebody looks at me during that time, I feel like I'm exposing too much. I was talking about your position on the basketball court. I don't play basketball. Because I think Ted Kaczynski had a comics brain. Like, I think he had a brain where it saw through the bullshit. Yeah, actually, you know, I shouldn't say. Ted Kaczynski, the guy that arrested him, yeah. The guy that ended up taking him down, he had a comics brain. Ted Kaczynski said to him, I'm paraphrasing this, if you saw this movie, you're going to go, it's not exactly what he said. Yeah, but they're doing quid pro quo with the guys debriefing him. And they're trying to get him to admit he was guilty because they don't really have a case on him. Sure. And so at one point, Ted goes, you're wanting me to admit, but I need to ask you some questions. And the guy goes, okay. And Ted goes, when did you realize I was right? And the guy goes, the guy freezes. And he goes, I was driving in the middle of Idaho in a snowstorm, and I came to a crossroads where there was a red light. It was 2 in the morning, and I sat at the red light for 10 minutes, and it wasn't changing. And I thought, this is what's wrong with the world, technology, like there's no one there. But I'm still beholden to the rules. Listen to the rules. And I went. Those kind of observations, I feel like, dude, that's why I think Bill Burr would like Ted Kaczynski a lot. I mean, dude, I think he's the pinnacle of, I would bring him in, I think in another life, he is the greatest murder detective of all time. Yeah, because he can challenge everything in such a smart way. That's why he's one of the greatest comedians of all time, because he can just come in and challenge it away, dude. I remember going and watching him at Caroline's when he was still doing Caroline's, and like me and Giannis and Nate would go in the back and you just watch a bit and you'd be like, oh my God, my God. Like a premise where you're like, I don't necessarily, how is he going to pull this? Oh my God, he pulled it off. And this is the greatest joke. But if he was a detective, and he'd be like, what's good? What's that? What's that fucking handkerchief? Why was that there? And you know, the woman's like, he would get a lot of yelling confessions. I fucking did it. I did it. You know what? Yeah. And he's like, I know you did. I fucking know you did. And he's like, I fucking did it. Is that what you want, detective? And he had birds. Is yelling back? Yeah, why don't you turn yourself in? Would get a lot of yelling. I might have to bring that up to him. Yeah, dude, he would get people to yell back at him where they're like, because they deserved it. And he's like, yeah, see, there it is. He would have got Bundy. He would have got Ted Bundy. He would have got, dude, what Ted Bundy did in that courtroom in Orlando where he lost it. He would have got him in Colorado. He'd been like, why'd you escape? Why'd you run? He's like, all right, don't you think I would? No, don't charm me. I'm not a woman. And he's like, yeah, well, I murdered those bitches. You can't sneak in the back door and climb up the back stairs. It wasn't the back stairs. It was the front stairs. I went in like a man. I'll kill him with my own hands. And he's like, I fucking got you, just Burr breaking. If you could send Bird, I would 100% watch all of that. I would love to see other comics solving mysteries. I would be first 48. I'm Columbo. Yeah, you just, one last thing. Yeah, you know what? I got one more question. I'll tell you exactly who I am. I'm exposed that dude. What's going on? Long day, huh? The guy's like, yeah. I'm like, sometimes the world just makes you angry. He's like, yeah, you know, that's how I get over. They'd be like, man, sometimes you just want to do something. I'm like, tell me, brother, what did you do? I killed her, man. I would have a lot more heartfelt tear confessions. See, I'd have a lot of guys go. And I go, hey, it's okay. I go, I do with that a lot. People in the other comps go, we got him, Mario. We got that on Mike. Okay, come on. Hey, bud, you're going to go away for a long time. It's better you admit it, though. Get that off your chest. Get this off. You're going to feel better. Sleep good tonight, eh? And, yeah, I think you would come in and you'd just be like, one last thing. You said you were in Pensacola last week. And the guy said, am I crazy? But when you say Pensacola, did you mean Delray Beach? And the guy's like, yeah, Delray Beach. Because if you're in Delray Beach, then the sun there doesn't set until, yeah, dude. Wolf would beat people like Batman beats Joker and Dark Knight. Michelle would go, and there you go, just slam his head. What's your fucking problem? And he's like, oh, fuck. Someone get me out of this room with this lady. Michelle would definitely lock the door and go, I'm not trapped in here with you. You're trapped in here with me. I can tell you everything. My initial thought was Jerry was crazy when you put him in the JFK hair. Wow, he really looks like JFK. It was amazing. Are you making any progress? Progress? Show him stand. Okay. It's not to scale, but astonishing. What are you guys 5 years old? Little John. John draws better than that. I think there's something wrong with him. Well, I mean, I thought if you were making an entire movie about the history of the Pop-Tart that it was going to be a little lighthearted. I made it perfectly clear in my inaugural address. You did? Great speech? Ask. It's so absurd that they would come to the president or even get the meeting to talk to him about it. Especially with the Cuban Missile Crisis and all this stuff. And then trying to drag him into Vietnam. All the stuff that he was dealing with that they would get there. I can't believe I'm in a scene with Jerry Seinfeld. This is like the greatest ever. I also love all the period correct wardrobe here. I love the way Jim looks. I love his glasses and Melissa McCarthy's. The way they got her hair is amazing. May I keep this? That's not right. Started in 90. I thought he started in 91, but like Dame was more my generation. And who else was up there? Like Jim Loletta, Todd Parker, Robbie Prince, all of that. Those are like, you know, all of that crew. And then after that, it was... I came up with like Bobby, Dane, Patrice, Gary Goldman came like right after that, Orny, and there was a great... That's a crazy class, yeah. It was great, and then when we then like, in New Jersey had like Florentine, and then in Norton and all that. And then we all just sort of came into New York at the same time, and yeah. And then all of that shit happened. Yeah, the Patrice doc has little snippets. Thank God somebody was rolling the camera back then. There's a scene where you guys are all hanging on the sidewalk, and then Rich Voss walks up, goes, what is this? A couple of middles, zero laugh, a pause, and then everybody laughed at him how bad that bombed. And I was like, oh, that's such a great little moment. So I don't feel like we have anymore. Brutal. Tito was so stupid. When I look back now, I mean, it's funny, but it was so stupid. We didn't write one script, one sketch. All we did was try to destroy each other's confidence. It was just such like, yeah, it was like a bunch of abused, like rescue dogs all put in the same with like one pork chop there. It's just... Yeah, dude, I used to have anxiety going on in the cellar, and I was just thinking of everybody. I would think like 3 insults forever just to kind of get... It's like, okay, if it comes at me, I'm going to get it off me, and I'll send it this way. And you know, but what if Bobby's not there? Bobby's not there. I can't use that, you know? And you couldn't look at the lineup, right? You can't. So you had no idea I was going to be down there for us. When you say one, and they're like, you prepared that. I thought I was going to be smarter. We missed that. We really missed out on that. Like I guess when I first got in, yeah, I remember Colin, Quinn, and Keith like beating up on me when I was like brand new, and I was like, this is amazing. This is you know, but yeah, my first, and somehow it became like toxic. I know this is bad, and then like you go in there now, and it's just like, don't know what it is. Yeah, it's not. I mean, I'm not gonna romanticize like it was all because I was comics going to me like, why do you sit down there? Just go down and do your spot and like. And if I was a healthier person, I would have been like, this isn't working for me. I'm not enjoying this. Like, I'd like to come down here and feel good about myself, not feel worse. Oh, my God, the amount of shirts I could never wear again. It was just like, I remember one time, I think it was Keith. Keith was getting so trashed for what he had on. He just stood up in the middle of the pounding and just ran out. And I remember, you can do that. I didn't know you could leave. I thought you just sit here until it was over. Damn. Tando. I saw Ted do that once. He sat down, everybody made fun of his sweater, and he just got up and sat at the booth and had dinner. And I was like, damn, that guy's healthy, yes. She says, I guess it's not working for me, and I'm leaving this. And if she broke up with us, right? Got out of a relationship. Remember when I auditioned at the Cellar? The second I sat down, I didn't know these guys. And Keith goes, look at him, look how scared he is. And I was like, holy shit. Everyone's laughing at me. I'm like, this is my audition. This is crazy. And he was right. I was terrified. Keith was really mean, so funny, but he was good at it. I know I'm fucking around. He really was good at it. I mean, he really mean laugh. Oh, yeah. He just enjoyed crushing you. Yeah. I've said this before, but my first night there, my first real paid spot, he was hosting and he brought me up and he goes, ladies and gentlemen, you're in for a treat. And I was in the wings like, oh shit, here we go. And he goes, Jerry Seinfeld. The crowd goes ape shit. He goes, I'm kidding, it's some guy, good times. I went up one time down there and it was like, it was just this night. Everybody showed up. It was like Jerry Seinfeld, Ray Romano, Chris Rock, and then Dave Chappelle. And I just kept getting bumped. And then it was like, me and the crowd was so spoiled. By the time they were doing the intro, people were just looking past me going, like, who's it? Is Eddie Murphy coming out? Right? Please welcome Bill Burr. And I do feel like if you go after him and you try really hard, I think they like it, so it depends. No, you just address it. You just address the disappointment. I just went on stage and like, that's right, motherfuckers, what you paid for.
Welcome back to reality. Yeah, I remember, I think it was Rock, Chappelle, and then me and I. And once they're done going, like, that's their bathroom break.
They just saw a show. Then once they sit back down, it's house money. Like, this is their vacation. Oh, yeah, they're okay with it. Yeah, that's true. I took a girl on a date once to the cellar, and it was one of those nights where all these people, Jon Stewart pops in. Trevor. No, all these people. And she just, it was her first time there, and she thought that's how it was. And then I brought her again, and she was like, this was brutal. Just like you and some other guy. Yeah, that's not. If the first time you go down there, like, that happens, like, yeah, I just want people in the crowd. By the time they brought the third one up, I remember Godfrey was hosting, and he was just like, all right, we got a special guest. You might recognize this guy from Everybody Loves Raymond. Please welcome Ray Romano. And the next one's like, okay, this next guy you might recognize from the Seinfeld show. Please welcome Jerry Seinfeld. This next guy you might recognize from the Chris Rock show. Please welcome Chris Rock. This next guy you might recognize from the Chappelle show. Please welcome Dave Chappelle. And then it was just like, this next guy's name is Bill Burr. He's been on VH1, and it's a good time to take a... Speaking of going psycho, I saw your Netflix special, and it's hilarious. Very, very funny. What? Thank you, thank you. And it's nice of the audience to react like that, but it hasn't actually aired yet, so you're lying. You shot in Nashville. You're not from Nashville, obviously. Why did you shoot it in Nashville? Because you know something. The special I did before, I wanted to shoot in San Francisco, and all the BS didn't work out. So the last second, we had to get a theater, and I did it down in Atlanta. And, you know, northern guy, Boston guy, going in front of the southern crowd and everything. Like, this whole new vibe came in that I really enjoyed, where it was like, rather than, you know, you do a special, it's like, oh, do it in your hometown. Like, everybody thinks the same way, and you kind of lose that great element of stand-up, of, like, people not understanding necessarily your point of view. And then you get heckled, and then you get, like, that whole... It feels like a live show. It says, and how I chose Nashville was I did Vince Vaughn's Wild West, the comedy festival that they have, and they were like, oh, it's where they did the original Grand Ole Opry. You got to see this place. I just walked in, it just had that magic. And I was just like, oh, it's so funny. It's so incredible. It's very funny. In your podcast, which I love, you do it twice a week. And it's different from most podcasts in that there are no guests. You just rant and rave for a full hour. Yes. Are you doing that in the house? Yeah? You should try to make sure the baby doesn't hear you doing that. Oh, yeah. Because I think it could trouble the child. Well, the reason why I don't have a guest is because, like, then it becomes a job, and then people, I can't find your house, and can we do it next Thursday and all that? The hell? I didn't get in this business to have a job, you know? I got this, I didn't want to have a job, you know? And so I just go off on stuff. It started off me just doing like 5 minutes, and then people started writing me questions. It's kept, Bill, excellent. I am a big fan of it. I listen to it all the time, Bill Burr. Everybody watch his special on Netflix, January 31st. Walk your way out. Thanks for watching. If you like that, subscribe to our YouTube channel for all the latest videos. And if you didn't subscribe anyway, it's free. Who cares? You really are the whitest person I've ever seen in my life. Yes, serve me well. I've never worked for anything. Yeah, I was born on a yacht. It's just all been downhill. I don't even mean it. I don't mean it in a genetic way. I mean, like I do you. I'm talking full-on white privilege. I was stunned when I first heard about white privilege. I had no idea what it was. I was like... Everybody doesn't get to do this. It seems as if the song never changes, job interviews. Right as I get out of the car, you're hired. Go home. I will see you tomorrow. You want an office? You were on a stand-up comedy tour of the world. Is it the world? I think we could say the world. The white world. The white world. If I went to Europe, they just pulled back like I was actually doing that. Was it a racist tour? Well, let's go through the countries. Maybe it was the white. Oh, yeah, it was pretty. That was pretty white I went on. What the hell was I? I did England, Iceland, getting whiter there. Iceland under the corporate at Santa Claus's house, whitest dude ever. Then I kind of did. I don't know. I went to Germany and then, I don't know, Austria. Where were you received most warmly? As far as like them getting me the best, I guess I would call it the Midwest of Europe. Oh, was the Budapest, Vienna, and Warsaw. Wow, yeah. They were like the same kind of idiot that I was. And we just like locked in, and I had these great, like I was in Budapest, I was on stage, like, geez, I'd shoot a special here. Yeah, people look great, yeah. They were just going along with the left, and it must be really strange to be popular and well-received in a place where English is not their first language. Yeah, no, it is. But you got to understand that everybody has like Netflix, so all you're getting is just what people that are into you. It's not like I walk around hungry going, hey, how's it going? People look at it. The hell is this guy talking about? Like they don't know me. The people that know me, and then they show up, and that's all I need. So like every person we would see, like for instance, here at the Royal Albert Concert Hall in London where you shot your special. And when I watched it last night, it was great, by the way. Thank you. So, but when you walk out on these English people, there's a lot of people, they're thrilled to see you. That has to, I would imagine that means something more than, you know, going back to Boston. Yeah. No, it's very, very humbling to sit there and be like that. All these people from this far away want to come out and see you. And then that's when you can get in your head and start going like, do I deserve this? What am I doing here? And Royal Albert Hall is beautiful. And it's like, I got a bunch of jokes. Why am I here? Yeah, there's like symphonies performed there, you know, and then I'm coming out. Hey, you ever been going to the bathroom? And blah, blah, just like, so there's a lot of that, yeah. When you travel around, the funniest parts, when you get really far east into Europe, is they get like really like logical. And I remember bombing. I can't remember if I was in Finland or Estonia. I was just bombing and I was just going, my God, what's going on? And like, I noticed their heckles. They were like trying to like solve the problem of the joke. Like you tell a joke and I wouldn't get a laugh. Yep. And somebody, well, why didn't you just say you were sorry? So I was just like, oh, is that what you guys are trying to do? So it's like I had to kind of figure that out. And no, if you get into like countries where they don't believe in an afterlife, you get a lot of that. Very logical. Yo, there's no like, hey man, there's none of that vibe. It's just like this plus this equals that. It's like, all right. That's kind of funny, yeah. You know what I wanted to ask you about, because I know you're a big Patriots fan. Yes, Antonio Brown. Yes, are you excited about him being on the team? We'll see what happens. You never know. What I like is it's a one-year contract. That's perfect. It's like a weekend in Vegas, right? No matter how crazy she is, it's got to end. You're going to be on that Southwest flight.
I think he's going to be good. I don't know.
I think there was a little bit of, you know, maybe seemed like they were finding him, I think. Wasn't there like something in his contract where if they find him enough time, then they didn't have to pay him a signing bonus? I don't know, but it seems like if you miss a practice, then you get fined because practice is part of the thing, yeah? Do you think like if he'd go, he's also a Raider? I thought like that's what you're supposed to do. Show up dressed like a pirate, threaten somebody's come in with booze on your breath, and then as long as you scored a touchdown, you were fine. That's the way the Raiders were when I grew up, so I was a little surprised. Were you thrilled when you read that he went? He signed with the Patriots so very quickly. And Tom Brady even invited him to come live in his house. Yeah, I know, it's nuts, the whole thing. Every time I think it's over, another good thing happens. Did you take your family on the road with you to Europe for this? I took them to Iceland. Oh, you did? Yeah. So whenever I go over to Europe, we just pick a country that we've never been to, and we hang there for like 7 days, get acclimated to the time or whatever. And yes, we went to Iceland, just you, your wife, and your daughter. Yep. And my parents came over. Oh, your parents came too? Yeah? Oh man, I forgot this story. I was smoking a cigar. They have like a center in Reykjavik, and it's just sort of this grassy hill with, you know, some statue of some dead guy. The usual thing, right? So I was sitting there and I was smoking a cigar. This woman approached me. She was just like, excuse me, can you do me a favor? And I was just like immediately weirded out. I was like, yeah, what? She goes, can you push me down the hill? I'm like, what? She goes, can you push me down the hill? I go, is this like some hidden video? Like, you're not getting me, all right? I'm a guest in your country. And she just wanted me to roll it down the hill. So I went like, all right, just post me too. You don't know what you're supposed to do. If I say no, then no. Do I? The hill shamer? Yeah. You know, so it's like, all right. So I'm like, where can I touch her? She's like way too old to do like 30. Okay. So I pushed her and she went, She went down the hill and I thought it was over. I was like, all right. She rolled down towards the street. It's over. And then she got up and she's like yelling up like, it's all wet and I'm dirty. And she starts coming back up, sitting down to talk to me. And I just got all like just weirded out by it. And well, you should have, yeah. Not to say that she was from Poland. That's not how Icelandic people are. She went for the old Polish roll. Yeah, you gotta watch out. Well, the special is very, very funny. Watch it. It's on Netflix. It's on Netflix now. Bill Burr, everybody. We'll be right back.
Hi, I'm Jimmy Kimmel. Click below to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Or if you want to be that way about it, don't.
Yeah, you stupid jerk. No, you can't get racial back. Because the second you get racial back, when you're white, then all of a sudden they like wheel out that podium and have like that press conference. You gotta be like that guy standing up there going, I disgraced the company, I disgraced myself. I just like to state that there was no air conditioning on the subway. I wasn't thinking clearly. I have nothing against Mexicans. I went to Tijuana, I had a great time. Please, please don't do this. No, that's why a lot of white dudes, we can get uptight in certain social situations. We gotta watch out for the podium. No, that podium could come out of nowhere. You're not even trying to say something like, yeah, I'm thinking of getting a shirt. What shirt? Oh, I'm thinking of the black shirt. What the hell did you say? I said black shirt. I should have said African-American shirt. I apologize. Please, I need this. I have a mortgage. Please don't do this. So you know, I got a computer recently, like, it's like one of the biggest things in my life. So I'm really trying to get like more like, you know, into this whole technology thing. I'm awful with computers. I'm one of those guys. Basically every button I hit on my computer has to like shut down, like regroup somehow, like deal with my idiocy. You know what I mean? Then there's always like some 8-year-old I see later on a laptop, like he's like breaking into the Pentagon downloading movies that haven't even been made yet. I just got a plane ticket for $6. You just want to slam his head in the face. I'll tell you, the only thing I like about my computer is I really enjoy spell check. No, I love it. You know what I love about spell check? You don't have to be close to getting the word right. Have you ever noticed that all you got to do is just get it like somewhere like within the ballpark of the word? It's almost like your computer can just start guessing like, I don't know, dinosaur. Right there. You know when you're sitting there like an idiot like, no, I wasn't trying to spell dinosaur. So then what does your computer do? It starts throwing out like every D word it can possibly think of. Like, okay, how about dictionary, diary? Any of this stuff looking familiar? Are we moving towards the goal or away from it? You ever spell a word so bad though? Your spell check has absolutely no clue what the hell you're trying to spell. What do you end up getting? You end up getting like a question mark. You got $1 million worth of technology just looking back at you like, just like you got me, buddy. Which is pretty amazing because I have all the words, yeah. And that doesn't look like any of them. I can't even make a guess. That's so screwed up. Would you like pass out and whack your head off the keyboard? Please tell me you're not that stupid. All right, that's it for me. You guys were a lot of fun. Thank you very much. God bless you. Thank you for coming out, Sam. You had to go. This is how it was. You had to go out and you had to get a blow-up doll and you had to fucking go out and get it. You had to fucking go out and get it, right? You had to just order it off of an Amazon and some delivery guy shows up. He doesn't know what's in the box. You're standing there like Tom Hanks. Hey, how you doing? Great to see you. I'm gonna fuck that. You have no idea what it is now, dude. So you had to go down and you had to fucking get this thing. You had to find a porno store. You had to work it out that was far enough away from your house that no one was gonna recognize your car. You drive down like 11 in the morning. Who the fuck is gonna be there then? Right? You park in the back on like a Tuesday. Just sitting there in the car, psyching yourself up like, okay, I'm not hurting anybody. It's just an urge. Just get in there, okay? Hand in the money. Just get in there and get it done. You yank your hat down, you fuck. You walk in with all your courage, and then you get in there and be too many other perverts in there, and you get all psyched out. So what you do is you just grab a bunch of videotapes, and you walked up to the counter, and you had to make it look like it was an impulse buy, right? And you're walking up and everything. All the creepy shit was behind the counter, right? Just fucking heads and feet. Just an ass body part. Serial killer buffet. What fucking world am I entering? Oh, my God. Somebody fucking a neck. Jesus Christ, right? Set it down. Just make it look real subtle. Okay, buddy? Not gonna be all? Yeah? No, maybe that. Maybe that thing down the end with the surprised look on its face. Maybe I'd like to take a shot at that. I don't know. The guy wraps it up and then you finally get it. You give him the money. You fucking run out to the car. You have this whole weird emotion. You're like excited. You hated yourself. Thank God I finally did it. What the fuck is wrong with me? Just drive off. You go back to your little shitty fucking apartment and you had to blow it up quietly. So none of your neighbors heard, just like, you got excited, start going a little faster and just watching this thing slowly coming to life, just like, right? And then you wrap those rubber legs around you. And God forbid you got caught. Your roommate comes walking in, he's fucking a blow-up doll. Dude, your life was over. You want like 6 minutes to get your mom on the phone, like, Mom, I love you, and you're never going to see me again. Don't believe what people said about me. I'm so sorry. I'm going to Alaska. Oh, God, click, that was it. You moved to Alaska, that was... No one ever saw you again. And that's why to this day, if you go to Alaska, there's like 8 men for every 2 women. Yeah, because that state is littered with men who got caught fucking shit they shouldn't have been fucking. Naimal. And I finally worked my way up to the front of the plane, group 1, which means you get to board like it's your plane, right? You get to board, Chase. You sit in a chair that's the size for a human being. There's a place for your bag. Yep, right? You get a little hot towel and all that. Then the second I get that, all of a sudden now there's like these 20 groups that are like pre-boarding now. Like half the plane qualifies and they're getting on. And I just sit there just like losing my shit. You know, it starts off like, it's just like anybody in uniform, anybody in military. So it's like, all right. But after like the 20th guy, you just start being like, have you seen action? Are you on the front line, the police? Then it's anybody with kids, anybody with disabilities. And they just say, anybody with the red shirt, hey, it's Tony Tuesday. Anybody named Anthony could get on. Dude, one time I saw this guy get on the plane, okay? He wasn't in uniform, he didn't have kids. He had all his limbs, he wasn't limping, he didn't have a cough. He just walked on the plane. It's like, who did that guy? How did I get on for that guy? So no, I always hated the anxiety of being in the back of the plane. I just remember like the worst is whenever you would get your seat and you'd sit there and about ready to close the door and you'd have that empty seat next to you, like the poor man's first class, and I'd walk, oh shit, I'll bring the armrest up. I can actually be great. Then all of a sudden, some fat bastard gets on the platform, and you're like, no. You like Quint at the end of Jaws, like sliding down the floor, right? So one time, I swear to God, this is all true. This dude got on. He was so fat. He was sitting next to me. I was literally next to him, behind him. He like tried to make himself smaller, and he like folded his arm, and his leg came out like a, you know, this old Western saloon thing. I'm just sitting behind this thing. So yeah, that motivates you to try to get to a solution. So all these years, 20 years, you work your way up to the front, and now still they won't let you. Yeah, now that fat guy's considered disabled because he can't stop eating cookies. So he gets on. Look how many groaning. 90% of the world is starving to death. Did that guy eat a salad and get on the treadmill like the rest of us? We're all working out. What is the problem? Well, okay, what could you do? Could you do anything? Then could you get on the plane? Is there anything you could do, Conan? I imagine there's something that I could be doing. There's always something that I could be doing. That's what I've learned being married, you know? Well, you should have done it this way. I'm sorry. Like that, literally. So I'm your wife right now. Yeah, that was just playing in the loop. What am I doing now? You know, this is the thing. You know what? It kills me. It's just like, if I could just fix my temper, my wife, she'd have nothing on me. Yeah, she'd have nothing on me. I work my ass off. I make a great living. I like doing the dishes. I'm a great dad. All she has on me is just, I don't know, like my overall vibe, but that's it. Wait a minute. All she has on you is my fault. It's your overall personality and vibe. You know what kills me? Oh, it's this guy when the essence of who you are is the only thing.
It's this guy when she met me. Yeah, she's acting like I changed. I was always flipping out.
Were you flipping out the day, like when you met? Did you flip out? Did you really? That or, yeah. I remember she told me to go see that movie, Monster. Remember that movie with Charlize Theron? Yeah. And everybody was saying how, oh my God, it was unbelievable. Like they literally blamed guys that she was a serial killer. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like when you saw the Jeffrey Dahmer movie, it wasn't like, somebody shoved a tuna fish sandwich up my ass and I confused people with food. So they didn't make like a big excuse for them. You know, she was a psycho killing people and she should have died. But I'm like watching it, feeling guilt. Do they ever take responsibility for their actions? Even when they're murdering people, it's somehow our fault. It's unreal. That was the problem. Having a juniper sandwich. Why would having a juniper sandwich? 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 So you equated, I don't know, sex with food? I forget. I forget how the idea went. But all I know is she laughed when I said it. She was dying laughing and kind of saw my point. And I always hate when she says to me, she'd just be like, you know, I just don't see. Where is that coming from? Where is that coming from? It's just like, honey, how many childhood stories do I have to tell you before you follow the breadcrumbs to the psycho that you married? I mean, did you ever take a psychology class? Like, you didn't see this coming, right? That's what it is. It's not that she says that I'm a jerk. It's just the nerve to be surprised. All right. I wish we had more time. Good God. All right. I feel like do I help you at all by getting cathartic? It's cathartic, right? It's cathartic. I'm going to go home. She's not going to watch this. She's older. I love it when a guest says she's not going to watch it. No, she's not going to watch it. Yeah. You can see Bill on his latest nationwide tour, 58. He's starting to mellow. I swear to God I am. I'm getting a twinkle in my eye. Back at the TD Garden in Boston on October 5th in Madison Square Garden. Wow. On Wednesday, November 7th, that's fantastic, unbelievable, thank you. For more cities and dates, thank you. Go to Bill Burr, Bill Burr. We write back Regina Hoffman. She was mourning and screaming. I was mourning and screaming. And yeah, I was mourning and screaming. I looked into her eyes. She looked into my eyes and she went, do they have Christmas trees in Africa? I have no idea what pisses me off more. Fuck they said us is while we're having sex, or the fact that I took time out to answer the question. Yes, we do. You guys have been wonderful. Good night. What's up? What's up? What's up? Bonjour, Montreal. I have been here for 3 weeks. I've never been here that long. I've been reading the news. There's no mass shootings. No cops killing black people. There's no Caitlyn Jenner stuff that you have in an election. I don't know the religion of the candidates. What the hell do you do for fun up here? I have no idea what's going on, gay marriage. Right? We have that now. Yeah. Our Supreme Court finally approved gay marriage. And in the decision, the funniest thing they wrote, they said that gays are now entitled to the same rights as all other humans. And I said, that's so nice of you to make them human now, because we do. We have a national homophobia. It's ridiculous. Like the minute the Supreme Court approved gay marriage, the states that don't want it, they have these things now. They call it religious freedom laws. And it's a twist on religion. And what it does, it allows people to use their religion to discriminate against gays or anyone they don't like, you know, in the name of Jesus. Because there's no doubt Jesus was big on discrimination. I think it was Jesus that said, love one another as you love thyself. Unless he's different than you, then go ahead and shoot his ass. Because that was open. Curry Jesus was very popular down in Texas. I don't know. So they have these laws. So there was a pizzeria in Indianapolis that said they refused to serve pizza to gay weddings. Now keep in mind, no gay wedding had ever ordered pizza. But they said, we will not serve pizza to gay weddings that didn't order pizza in the first place. And just to make sure we never lose any money not serving pizza to gay people who didn't want pizza, we had started a Kickstarter, GoFundMe page, and they raised over $800,000 to make sure they never lose money not serving pizza to gay people who didn't want pizza to begin with. And I read that article and I made a decision, and I'm telling you right now, Alonzo Bowden refused to do comedy at gay weddings that have never asked me to do comedy in the first place. And just to make sure I never lose money not doing comedy for gay people that didn't want my ass there to begin with, I have started a GoFundMe page. So please give generously in the name of Jesus. We always talk about the women up here. Beautiful, beautiful women, yeah. And look. But I'm out of the game now because the game has changed. Used to be able to pick up, now you want to hook up. You want to get laid? There's an app for that, right? That's what you do. They have like Tinder and Instagram and stuff, and that's a young man's game. You know, my nephew was showing me, like, check it out. You just flip through the pictures, then you hit, like, then if she hits, like, you hook up and you smash that, and I was like, you smash that on a, like, that's the extent of your effort. You lucky little punk. You don't know. I love it. I can look on Instagram, but I can't be trying to hook up on Instagram. A little too old. Be messing around the Instagram. Well, I'd be the creepy guy on Instagram, you know? And you don't want to be that, right? Creepy. That's like the worst thing I got. No, I used to think creepy was the worst thing a guy could be until I heard these girls talk about a guy who looked rapey. And I was like, that's a thing. Now there's rapey out there. That is the worst description I have ever heard. Can you imagine being described as rapey? Man, if you looked rapey, you would do anything to get back to creepy, wouldn't you? People always ask comics, they're like, what makes you laugh? I'll tell you what makes me laugh. The most ordinary, everyday things I see that they make me laugh. I was crossing the street, right? I stopped at the crosswalk. I looked next to me. There's a seeing eye dog. And I looked at him, and he had no blind person. It was just a dog. And I started laughing my ass off, because all I could think is somewhere there's a blind guy going, where's my dog? Where's my dog? And I couldn't help but think, what did he do then? The dog said, I've had enough of this. You on your own, you're laughing. I love that. I love that joke. Because see, now that planted a seed, right? And what is going to happen? You're going to see a blind guy with a dog, and you're going to think about that joke, and you're going to start laughing, and everyone's going to think you're the biggest asshole in the world because you're laughing at a blind guy with a dog. And then you're going to be, no. A rapey guy said, I'm Alonzo Bowden. Thank you, thank you. She was mourning and screaming. I was mourning and screaming. I was mourning and screaming. I looked into her eyes. She looked into my eyes, and she went, do they have Christmas trees in Africa? I have no idea what pisses me off more. The fuck they said us this while we're having sex. Or the fact that I took time out to answer the question. Yes, we do. You guys have been wonderful. Good night. What's up? What's up? Bonjour, Montreal. I've been here for 3 weeks. I've never been here that long. I've been reading in the news. No, there's no mass shootings, no cops killing black people. There's no Caitlyn Jenner stuff that you have in an election. I don't know the religion of the candidates. What the hell do you do for fun up here? I have no idea what's going on, gay marriage, right? Our Supreme Court finally approved gay marriage. And in the decision, the funniest thing they wrote, they said that gays are now entitled to the same rights as all other humans. And I said, that's so nice of you to make them human now, because we do. We have a national homophobia. It's ridiculous. Like the minute the Supreme Court approved gay marriage, the states that don't want it, they have these things now. They call it religious freedom laws, and it's a twist on religion. And what it does, it allows people to use their religion to discriminate against gays or anyone they don't like, you know, in the name of Jesus. Because there's no doubt Jesus was big on discrimination. I think it was Jesus that said, love one another as you love thyself. Unless he's different than you, then go ahead and shoot his ass, because that was open. Carry Jesus, who's very popular down in Texas, I don't know. So they had these laws. So there was a pizzeria in Indianapolis that said they refused to serve pizza to gay weddings. Now, keep in mind, no gay wedding had ever ordered pizza, but they said, we will not serve pizza to gay weddings that didn't order pizza in the first place. And just to make sure we never lose any money, not serving pizza to gay people who didn't want pizza, we had started a Kickstarter GoFundMe page, and they raised over $800,000 to make sure they never lose money not serving pizza to gay people who didn't want pizza to begin with. And I read that article, and I made a decision, and I'm telling you right now, Alonzo Bowden refused to do comedy at gay weddings that have never asked me to do comedy in the first place. And just to make sure I never lose money not doing comedy for gay people that didn't want my ass there to begin with, I have started a GoFundMe page. So please give generously in the name of Jesus. We always talk about the women up here. Beautiful, beautiful women. Yeah? Yeah, I look. But I'm out of the game now because the game has changed. You used to be able to pick up. Now you want to hook up. You want to get laid? There's an app for that, right? That's what you do. They have like this Tinder and Instagram and stuff, and that's a young man's game. You know, my nephew was showing me, like, check it out. You just flip through the pictures, then you hit, like, then if she hits, like, you hook up and you smash that, and I was like, you smash that on a, like, that's the extent of your effort. You look a little punk, you don't know, I love it. I can look on Instagram, but I can't be trying to hook up on Instagram, a little too old, be messing around the Instagram, but I'd be the creepy guy on Instagram, you know? And you don't want to be that. Right? Creepy. That's like the worst thing I got. No, I used to think creepy was the worst thing a guy could be until I heard these girls talk about a guy who looked rapey. And I was like, that's a thing. Now there's rapey out there. That is the worst description I have ever heard. Can you imagine being described as rapey? Man, if you looked rapey, you would do anything to get back to creepy, wouldn't you? People always ask comics, they're like, what makes you laugh? I'll tell you what makes me laugh. The most ordinary, everyday things I see that they make me laugh. I was crossing the street, right? I stopped at the crosswalk. I looked next to me. There's a seeing eye dog. And I looked at him, and he had no blind person. It was just a dog. And I started laughing my ass off. Because all I could think is somewhere there's a blind guy going, where's my dog? Where's my dog? Where's my dog? And I couldn't help but think, what did he do that? The dog said, I've had enough of this. You on your own? You're laughing. I love that. I love that joke. Because see, now that planted a seed, right? And what's going to happen? You're going to see a blind guy with a dog, and you're going to think about that joke, and you're going to start laughing, and everyone's going to think you're the biggest asshole in the world because you're laughing at a blind guy with a dog. And then you're going to be, no, the rapey guy said, Alonzo Bowden, thank you, thank you. So 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 18C. Hey, welcome, everybody. We got the alternate here. My name is Burr Chrysler. I'll be your host all day. First candle coming in. Oh, he sees a big heifer at 11:15. Do I got 11:15 from Camouflage Hip Hop over there? Southernly, gentlemen. Southernly, gentlemen. Nothing. Nothing. No kettle for you, huh? So understand the process and what's about to go on. I got my game plan. First cows that come out are John's. I like it. I like it. Follow my lead. All right, here we go. Showtime. Are you ready? What happens if you accidentally buy one? I'm not going to buy one. Don't worry. There we go. Okay, this is going really quick. Here we go. Here we go. Like $1,000. Maybe no one else bid. No one else bid. I thought there was going to be more action. Okay, crying. How fast did anybody else bid? I thought I was going to I just bought Joe. Can someone please find out how much I spent on this cat? How do we know how much we paid for this? I've got 2 kids and 2 dogs and a rescue cat. My wife's going to kill me. So the total is $1,400. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Yes, it's $31. $11.31. All right, to make change. I think the haggling part's over, Bird. Yeah. Should have haggled more in there, huh? You should. I guess you should. Money just went so quickly. If you'll just put your address on there. Oh, it's B-E-R-T, please. Oh, B-E-R-T. Give my home address, Valley Village. I don't know how I'm going to get this thing to California. You got any friends who are ranchers out there? Is it just me or that really happened fast, right? Your hand went up and he just said sold. God, are there different hand motions that you're supposed to use? You were pretty assertive. You went pretty high with it. You think people thought they were being nice and just let us out because we were in on the action? What are you going to name it? I'm going to name it sold. I'm going to name it. Really should get a hold of my wife. Oh, we got good news and we got bad news? All right, all your cattle sold. That's good news. What's the bad news? I bought one. Oh, did you? What'd you do? Go at you and put your hand up? Got it, got it. Did you really get it? I swear to God, I bought that job. This way, a little more. That's good, a little more. You're going to clear. All right, this is your new home. You're out here with the horses you're going to love. Keep acting like that. I'm not going to open the gate. Open them both. Open them both. All right, buddy. Hide behind one. Get out of the way. This is your new home. Get out of the way. All right, just take off. This is all yours. You're John's now. I'm going to come back and visit you. No castration. You think I ought to tell him that he's already been branded and already been castrated? Unfit, mother. Let me tell you something. You better be this dead, cuz. When you come out of the woods, I'm going to kill your ass. Now I'm going to count to 3. If you ain't out of the woods at the count of 3, you live here. 1, there he is. Let's go, you know? Because black mama's real, you know? They don't play, but all mamas get tired. Because when white mamas get fed up, oh, y'all get fed up. You like, I've had it up to here. I'm sick of your insubordination. You don't stay in timeout. You don't eat your vegetables. You know what? Yeah, I got an idea. You know what? I got an idea. Everybody get in the car. We finna go for a ride down by the lake. And the kid's like, yay, we going for a ride down by the lake. Down by the lake. But my mama might not ever take us for a ride down by the lake. But she'll read that in the paper and she'll use it as a scary text. She'd be like, ooh, the mama got tired of them damn kids and took their ass for a ride down by the lake. Let me tell y'all something. Keep messing up. And I'm going to take y'all ass for a ride down by the lake. I'd be in the background talking about, first of all, you got to get a car. Because I don't think the bus driver is going to let you take everybody on the bus for a ride down by the lake. I've been Lavelle Crawford. Thanks a lot. It's a great audience. Give yourselves a hat. Good. Mexican-American. More Cheech and Chong after the break. You know, everything's been funny. This is a really wonderful lineup of really funny comedians. And I was figuring it out today. We haven't been into Montreal in about 37 years, the last time we were here. So tonight, we'd like to do something very special for you. We only do this once a night, and we'd like to do something. It's a very serious song. It's a song of my people, and I hope you like it. Mexican-Americans don't like to just get into gang fights. They like flowers and music, and white girls named Debbie, too. Mexican-Americans love education, so they go to night school. And they take Spanish and get a BA. Mexican-Americans don't like to get up early in the morning, but they have to, so they do it real slow. Mexican-Americans love the nanas and the nonos and the ninas and the ninos and the ninos. Nano, nino, but don't call them beaters. They're all over the place. Don't call them beaters. They'll up and kick you in the face. Call them bears even though they drive real low. Don't call them beaters even though they drive low. Goddamn slow. They'll call them Peter. They don't like to be called Peter. You can dress them up, but you can't take them out. That's the only thing. Listen, where was I? Oh, yes, my people. Mexican-Americans are named Shada and 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 an old shaman have a son-in-law named Jeff. Mexican-Americans don't like to go to the movies where the dude has to wear contact lenses to make his blue eyes brown. Just don't make my brown eyes blue. Is it time for the racists? Mexican-Americans live in Los Angeles, San Diego, San Antonio, San Francisco, and now all over Canada. Boy, and she just gets cold up there. Mexican-Americans have been here forever, and we're going to be here forever, and then we only want what's fair. Mexican-Americans, thank you, man. That's it for now. Thanks for joining us on Just for Laughs. Now the credits are going to roll. We don't really expect you to stick around for this, but I have to. We'd appreciate it if you did. There's my name, woohoo. The 4th. No, the 5th cameraman is hot. Okay, then I'm done. There I go now. Oh, for crying out loud, what, mommy? It's over. Kevin, what you've achieved in your career is not even scratching the surface of who you are. You are very, not only deserving of this award, but people don't understand what you've done to the business. Do you know how many tickets you've sold since you started doing concerts? I called and checked. I know 500 million. 500 million people watch this man. Stand in front of him, make them laugh. Kevin is one of the greatest comedians I've ever seen. Kevin is one of the greatest men that I've ever known. Hello, Jerry. You bring joy to our environment. People don't know all the things that comedians go through and how difficult, how heavy it is to wear the crown. But man, I swear to God, you do it with so much grace, so much kindness, man. I know every story of all the comedians that you help out. I know how you go back to Philadelphia and support your neighborhood. And I know that inside you feel awful sometimes. But I've never seen it on your face, and I've never felt it in your presence. And I am honored to know somebody like you. I really wish you would have come when I won this award.